de-emphasize the ideological arguments and to focus on the overall impact. In this global movement, it's crucial that everyone play a role, but Africa must lead. In 2004, African heads of state met in Maputo and pledged 10% of their national budgets to agriculture. Countries from Ethiopia, Malawi to Ghana are showing the way. Ghana has met the 10% pledge, and its success demonstrates why others should as well. Ghana's agricultural sector is growing at a steady rate of over 5%. GDP is rising. National poverty rates are dropping. Rural poverty rates are dropping even faster. And Ghana is now the first sub-Saharan country to reach the Millennium Development Goal of cutting hunger and poverty in half. The Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, led by Kofi Annan, is pushing for these kinds of advances across the continent. Unfortunately, most African countries have not yet met the 10% pledge. African leaders should hold each other accountable. Is there any reason not to find 10% of those budgets for the highest leverage approach to the biggest problem the poor face? Rich countries have also pledged to increase their investment in agriculture. In his inaugural address, President Obama promised the poor nations that the U.S. will work alongside you to make your farms flourish. And then he took a lead role as the G20 made a 3-year, $22 billion pledge to help the poorest farmers increase their productivity. It's a great thing that donor nations are focusing on this issue, but we need them to spell out clearly what the $22 billion means. How much is old money? How much is new? How soon can they spend it? And what will it be focused on? We also need foundations, universities, the United Nations, the World Bank, scientists, farmer groups, and others to intensify their support. And we need corporations to play a role. Research companies can take the technology they've developed for large agriculture and apply them to the needs of the small farmer. They should adopt their products to suit what these customers need, which is often very different. The crops are different. The fertilizers need to adopt to the soils. The seed packages need to be 1 kilogram, not 50. In the poorest countries, some of these products need to be royalty-free, or many customers won't be able to afford them. Food companies can use their buying power to provide markets for small farmers. The logistics might be more complex at first, but these companies have a huge opportunity to help poor farmers by turning to them as suppliers. A number of our corporate partners are making impressive contributions along these lines, and we need others to join them. In closing, I'd like to tell you the story of a man named Chris O'Dory, who just last year graduated from a school we support in South Africa, the African Center for Crop Improvement, which is crucial to our hope of training more PhDs in Africa. With his diploma, Crispus became the only plant breeder in all of Africa with a PhD in finger millet, a grain that is grown almost entirely by small farmers, and is eaten by more than 100 million Africans, but has shown no significant productivity gains since the 1960s. Today, working in western Kenya, near where he grew up, Crispus goes back and forth from his demonstration plots to the local farmers, hearing their concerns, testing their methods, acting his own ideas. Right now, the expected yield of a finger millet farmer in Kenya is between 500 to 700 kilograms per hectare. On the fields where Crispus conducts his research using improved seeds and fertilizer, he gets between 2,500 and 3,000 kilograms per hectare, 4 to 6 times better. There is no reason for so many farmers to be so hungry and so poor. Poor farmers are not a problem to be solved. They are the solution, the best answer for a world that is fighting hunger and poverty and trying to feed a growing population. If farmers can get what they need to feed their families and sell their surplus, hundreds of millions of the poorest people can build themselves a better life. It will take passion and focus and a sustained sense of urgency. It will take a willingness to put aside old divisions and come together behind this cause. We have the ability to build these tools. We know what needs to be done. We can be the generation that sees Dr. Borlaug's dream fulfilled, a world free of hunger. Thank you.
Sit over at that table over by the door, and whenever something finished, we always looked over to see was he smiling or frowning. And I think we all looked over today. He'd have a big smile on his face because it was those smallholder farmers that he always talked about in Mexico, and India, and Pakistan, and in Africa. And your call to arms to continue and fulfill his dream, I think, has inspired everybody here. I want to invite our 2009 laureate, Dr. Gabisa Ejeta, to come to the stage and for dialogue with Bill Gates and to continue this exploration of the future.
Before we start the question and answer session, maybe let me repeat, with your permission, what I said to you last night. On behalf of the poor in Africa and everyone involved in agricultural development, I express my gratitude for the impassioned commitment that you and your family have brought, both your resources and your commitments to the cause of the poor in the African continent. For my first question, last March, your staff invited me to Seattle for a dialogue. I told your staff that unless they make the national programs front and center and challenge leaders of the developing world, particularly Africa, to commit meaningfully and in earnest, we may not achieve your goal of a transformative change in the livelihood of Africans. In that vein, I pointed out to the fact that, in my view, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation can be a leader and a game changer, and I have said this in public and multiple times. And you can be so if you use effectively and efficiently each of the two capitals that your foundation brings to agricultural development. The first capital is this unprecedented level of resource support that you've already committed. The second, in my view, is the trust and credibility your family name brings to the world of the poor. I think